You know, we learned after 9/11 at Ground Zero, we learned, well, and I also learned as a lawyer, looking at toxic spills, that the impact, they're usually felt for years. Should the government be doing more? Should the state government be doing more? Should the federal government be doing more here?
Well, yes, and yes. One of the things that the EPA administrator said when he did say, as the DeWine administrator in Columbus, Ann Vogel said, and the mayor said that the water is safe in the city drinking water system. Individual wells, not necessarily so much. They all need to be tested. But the administrator was very careful to say, when you go back into your home, before you do, you need to get another test to make sure the water, the soil, and the air are clean. And these tests are paid for by Norfolk Southern, who caused all of this. So it's especially important that we continue, that people don't trust Norfolk Southern. They don't always trust the government either. But we're making progress. This could go on for a long time. The cleanup is going to take months, I'm sure, seeing those gnarled train cars and cut up train cars and turned over train cars. And we know that Norfolk Southern, they do big stock buybacks. They had big dividends. They don't invest nearly as much in rail and train safety as they should. They laid off hundreds of thousands of workers. So this company is going to be held responsible, and we're going to make sure of that.
How in the world could anybody guarantee the people of East Palestine that the drinking water there is safe? Again, I mean, you study any toxic spill, again, sometimes the impact stays in the community for years, for decades, for generations. It seems like, I don't know, it just looking at the pictures, reading the news accounts, you have to be worried for the safety of people within miles of that spill.
Well, that's right. And that's right, Joe. And I think you're going to see continued ongoing testing. I mean, the testing of the water now says the water is drinkable. The administrator said he would, in response to a fairly hostile question, would you have your family drink this water? Would you bathe with children, small children? Would you bathe them in this water? He said yes, but he said yes conditioned on each time you move anybody moving back in, and at least 500 or 600 people have done that and had those tests. And I think those tests will be ongoing. I don't think this is the only time they test. The EPA is going to stay involved in this. And the tests are beyond East Palestine. If necessary, they'll be throughout Unity Township. They'll go across the state line to Darlington Township and more towards Salem in Columbiana County. So this is, as you suggest, Joe, this is not a one-shot deal or just a temporary thing. This is going to be ongoing to make sure this water is safe and clean. We met at someone's house. I talked to Chief Drabek and Mayor Conaway, but also at the home of Ms. Ferguson, and the anguish in her voice. She had to move her disabled mother-in-law out of the house too, and they're staying in a hotel. They can't afford these hotels are expensive, even low rent hotels, as I think said she was going to, relatively modestly priced, but it's still expensive for a working class family. The anguish in her voice and on her face as she sat with Administrator Regan and Congressman Johnson and me was hard to watch, and listening to her, and it makes us double down on that's why we need to go there. That's why we need to talk to people who live there, who are struggling to get their lives, some semblance of their lives on track.
Senator, good morning. Jonathan Lemire. I want to pick up on that thread. What more can be done for some residents there? We've heard from them in recent days who simply don't want to go back, who say, I can't risk this with my children or my parents or whoever it might be. Like, I can't set foot there. What could be done for them in the short term? And also, what sort of systems will be put in place to track this potentially for not just months, but years down the road as theoretically the impact of this lingers and causes illness?
Yeah, we're working with those families that don't want to go back. That's not at all clear where they go, how they get their lives back on track. Hard to sell their property, obviously, if they're doing that. In terms of longer term, that's still to be worked out. But I think that in response to your question and Joe's earlier assertion, it's important that testing continue on. And again, it's really important that Norfolk Southern underwrite this, pay for every cent of this. When I was at the fire station literally is 30 feet in its backyard from the railroad tracks. If the train had derailed, I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes earlier, would have blown up the fire station. And so, do they move that fire station further from the tracks for the future? And if they do, then Norfolk Southern pays for it. One other word of warning: Norfolk Southern's offering $1,000 and $2,000 checks to people to help them get through this. I just warn Norfolk Southern: under no condition should you be asking anybody to sign away their legal rights for that $1,000 or $2,000 check when you're dealing with people who are pretty desperate, that need that money to stay in a hotel, need that money to go back into their home after testing, all of those things. Norfolk Southern, as one rich Federal Reserve official told me once, watch me and let me know you're watching me. That's what we're doing. And it's bipartisan. I spoke with Congressman Johnson. I spent the day with him. I spoke with him by phone last night when he called. We're watching. We are on this and going to continue to be.
It's critically important that they continue to be watched. Again, you look at this devastation, and I will just say again, my personal experiences dealing with these sort of toxic spills and these sort of toxic sites. This impacts a community for years. It could impact the community for decades, for a generation. I had friends in Pensacola, Florida, who were dying of cancer, and they couldn't figure out why. I'm not going to get into the specifics of it. Let's just say, though, there's an oil company that had been dumping things in the 50s and the 60s, and there was an impact on the water supply for a generation. And I can't underline enough what the senators said. Don't sign anything with these people. Don't sign anything. And would I have my children drink the water, all the things I know? No, I wouldn't. Remember, again, we have administrators who are trying to do the right thing. They go here and they say, oh, everything's safe. Just like after 9/11, they told the firefighters that everything was safe at ground zero because by some general standard it seemed safe. It's not. I'm going to say one other thing that I don't usually say. I don't usually talk this way on the show with a guest here, but the state of Ohio has been going more red year after year after year after year. All I can tell you is the people of East Palestine and the people impacted by this can thank God that they have somebody that is going to stand up for them and fight moneyed interests who want them to sign a check and get the hell out of their way. So, Senator, thank you for coming on. And any final words you'd like to say to the people of East Palestine?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Joe, for those words. There was another Norfolk Southern derailment yesterday in Detroit. There have been two earlier in Ohio, including one in Sandusky, not as serious as this one, but problematic if you live there, as you suggest, Joe, and they haven't totally taken care of that one yet. So we'll be watching. This is ongoing. This is really important to stand up.
Yes, it is.